How's it going, everybody? It is Sam with BFPGear.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the JT Triad. Now, I already know what a lot of you are thinking out there. It is about damn time this thing came out. So now that it is here, let's crack it open and let's go ahead and take a peek inside. I'm going to grab a tech mat and we'll see you right after the intro. All right, we got our tech mat here, and we got our JT Triad. High performance paintball loader system. All right, so looks like you can open it from the top, but there's one thing I did notice about the box and the packaging here is that there's actually a couple tabs on the side here that just come undone. And then you just lift up and boom, look at that. Now that's just cool presentation. I guess I'm just a sucker for good packaging, so hats off to JT for that one. Really like that. All right, so first look here at the Triad, the initial experience. This is kind of a long loader, but the profile is really thin. So I feel like if you're kind of like in a gunfight with somebody, they're gonna have this really minimal surface area to like really get you. So I think that's really good. And yeah, I like how thin that is, actually. Yeah, it's really nice. Another thing I noticed right off the bat too, you got your rain lid and you got your speed feed. So I think that's really sweet. And then of course the power button is right down here and it's just button on, button off. And the motor is very, very quiet. So I think that's going to be a sweet, cool feature. Like no one's going to hear your loader's empty and the motor's just like spinning and making a loud noise. So that's really handy. All right, so let's go ahead and crack this open because I know they made some changes to the Triad here, but yeah, I can already see in here, it might be a little difficult to see right now, but this whole, everything in here looks way different. So let's go ahead and take it apart. There's this little yellow guy right down in here. We're just gonna push that down and that'll make that snap noise. And then there's like this red button that just sits on the top shell. Might be difficult to see with the speed feed in the way, but you just push down and then lift up and the top shell just comes right off, just hooks out from the front. We'll set that to the side. And okay, yeah, we're dealing with big differences here in the Triad internals. Let's start here. This ramp is a lot larger from what I can remember. We did have one of the original, or I guess prototype Triads. Used it, I loved it. Did have a few issues here and there, but they are all pretty much fixed with this brand new version of the Triad. I don't remember the ramp being this big though, and it's really like stiff. Like this is gonna feed paint a lot better. Holy smokes, like this is, yeah, this is gonna be great. Another thing I noticed too here is this cone. I know the old one, the Paintball, looked like it would slot in, and it still looks like it does that, but they eliminated that like cone piece that sits kind of like a spire, so to speak. It was cool to have that little spire kind of piece because you could just, you know, pinch it and then pull this whole part out, but this, I think, is going to be a lot better just for feeding and getting paintballs to like sit in this raceway area. Let's see, another thing I've noticed too is, yeah, they put like, there's like a lip here. So once the paintball gets into that, into this like raceway, into the stack or whatever you want to call it, I feel like it's not going to move. Once it's here, like there's nowhere for the ball to go. And then the spring's interesting. It's nice and flimsy too. So I have a feeling that the spring is just kind of here to like prevent blockage from paintballs entering into the feed neck and then entering into your marker. So this is going to be a nice little welcomed feature. Let's go ahead and just pop the tray out here. So there's this little front piece up here. You just get your finger in there and then lift up, and then there you go. Just sits in there magnetically. And yeah, this is the bombshell. There's I mean, obviously not really not a lot going on. So we'll put that to the side. Yeah, so one of my favorite features on the Triad loader is that there are virtually no exposed electronics. All you see here is like the battery board, and the batteries snap in. There's these metal clips and they all go one way, which is really cool. And if you're not sure which way to put them in, it tells you underneath these batteries here, and it just has like a big plus on this left-hand side. But the batteries just snap in. These batteries are not moving anywhere. I mean, I could probably like throw this around and they're seriously going nowhere. But yeah, spill-proof electronics. Like nothing is exposed at all. Like you cannot see any part of the motor. You cannot see anything going on until you take the whole loader apart. Which I think is a really, really sweet feature, and I would love to see that with more high-end paintball loaders. So another thing I'm starting to notice here as well, as I'm looking at it on this like side profile, is even this back part here. This looks a little bit more angled than the original. Now I could be wrong. It could just be my imagination, or maybe I'm a very wishful and hopeful, thinker. And if I am wrong, you can let me know in the comment section below. But this feels like it's a little bit more steep to just help get paint into the ball stack here, into the raceway. But I love how quiet this thing is. Like I'm floored by how well this thing sounds. Like even with the shell off, it's still pretty dang quiet. Like I feel like every other loader out there is way too loud. And as you can see, it uses an I system too. Like there's red lights in there. Once I block it, it doesn't tell it to go, it just tells it to stop. And then, yeah, very, very quiet. And then it also tries to unjam too automatically, which I think is really sweet. But yeah, overall, this seems like these are very, very welcome improvements. And I am really curious to see how this thing performs. So with that said, we're going to be putting it back together, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to go grab some paint, if I can get the loader back together. Oh, so there we go. Like hooks, I feel like that hooked in a lot better too. But we're going to go grab some paint, and we're going to go put a pot through this, and we're going to see how well the new JT Triad feeds. So I'm going to go grab some paint, and I will meet you guys outside. All right, got the JT Triad out here with a full hopper of paint, as you can see there. And we got the LV2 on PSP Fast. Let's see how it goes. All right, let's see how this thing rips. Woo, 15.4 balls per second on average. That is pretty dang fast for the Triad. Let's do another stream here. That one hit 14.7 on average. So you're looking at 15 balls per second on the Triad loader, and that is going to be perfectly good enough for anyone using this in tournaments. So if you're worried about this keeping up for NXL ramping, have no fear. And there you have it, the brand new JT Triad loader from JT Paintball. This is something that I've been looking forward to for a long time, and it is an amazing package, all for $149.95. At least at the time of this video being made. You get everything that you're going to need for under 200 bucks, which is the big deal with this loader. You're going to have about 215 round capacity, which is amazing. You're going to have your rain lid and your speed feed all ready to go. You don't need to buy any extras. Takes 3 AA's that just snap right in. You have spill-proof electronics, so if you're playing out in the rain and you forgot your rain lid, or maybe you loaded some bad paint from a bad pot or something like that, you don't need to worry about your electronics getting messed up. And my favorite part is how quiet this loader is. This thing is super, super quiet. This is an amazing little feature because no one's going to hear if they're on the other side of your bunker, or maybe a bunker away or something, while you're shooting and playing and you're running out of paint. Sometimes you can hear motors on loaders and they're a little bit louder than they should be. This thing is super quiet, and if you are, maybe holding a lane or you're shooting your paintball marker while this is on there, you're not going to hear this motor at all. And They come in a variety of different colors. I've got the black and gray here, but there are other color options that you can pick up right now. And if you want to pick up a JT Triad, you can do so right now on bfpgear.com.